Well, hello, my fellow Americans and fellow Christians. Thank you for joining me today, and may divine favor be upon you. My friends, may we turn to James chapter 1, verse 19, and this is what it says. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man works not the righteousness of God. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. For a man can behold himself and go his way, and forgets what manner of man he was in verse 24. My friends, I did not know how I was going to approach this subject today, the unbridled tongue, America's curse. It is true we are the most talkative generation to ever grace this country. With the advent of social media, talking has been an open forum for all. Even the youth today has asked for their opinions before they've had time to learn the principles of life. This has sheared into a pride of thought by millions, who believe they share the capacity of intellectualism, when indeed what they speak is a vanity of their prejudices they believe the world needs to listen to. And oh, how we see this today in rock stars, in R&B stars claiming to be Christian, trying to prove themselves Christian through media. Albert J. Nock, in his essay, Isaiah's Job, points to a fella he knew who one day came to him saying he had an epiphany, a message that he needs to take to the masses, and that he would devote the rest of his life to spreading the message he received to the world. Oh, does that not sound familiar? Of a rock star in this day and age who believes he is God's gift to this generation. But the character of this individual is in no way of that of those great men in your Bible, or any great preacher of the past. There is no comparison. And this is what Knox said to him. He said, I mustered enough courage to say that he had no such mission, and would do well to get the idea out of his head at once. He would find that the masses would not care 2 pins for his doctrine, and still less for himself, since in such circumstances the popular favorite is generally some Barabbas. And interesting enough, my friends, the cry of this generation is, give us Barabbas. Give us vice. Give us vanity. Give us the insurrectionist. We read in Walter Lippmann's Public Opinion an almost nauseating generalization of ignorance, timidity, and the sub-intellectual mysticism of citizens in America. We all should hope one day we all will grow a little more intelligent. For he lays out in classic fashion the question, are we ever, in spite of our incurable imbecility, going to get a measure of sense and decency in the conduct of men? And oh, that is a question for us as we see what is being paraded today throughout this nation, right before our eyes, in TV, social media. I address this fact with our current dilemma of men and women sworn to corrupt and pull down anything of value. I have written elsewhere, we are living in the days of character assassination, which is deliberately disingenuous and unquestionably evil. It has escalated beyond this as America has now become the happy hunting ground for those who love to harass decent citizens. The psychological arrival of individualism has progressed. The realism that the uneducated is as wise as the schooled. That gifted soothsayers can handle fundamental problems and international policies just as well as a professor who has a doctorate in these fields. Yet if you ask the masses to give a coherent account of even the simplest of these problems, the answers you will get will and have been wholly idiotic, as we have seen and continue to see. In brief, the masses have proved they do not have the great orations and intellectualism of Daniel Webster, Jefferson, and Kennedy, for example. These men are a rarity, and this nation is run today, and the church for that matter, not by intellectual men, not by second or third-rate men, but by groups of unbridled mob masters, all of them ignorant and most of them corrupt. This takes us to the concrete problem we are facing today. Our dilemma today is we do not have great moral and intellectual examples that affect our minds. Sublime intellectualism and virtue is far from our grasp. The reality we are facing is that the unbridled tongue of the scoundrel and the uneducated trying to make their political influence and lack of cultural unity the majority. And evangelicalism walking in the same direction by a mob of unbridled, corrupt Christian men, attempting to sanction Christianity as a political power, taking advantage of a nation given to passivity and the thought they are powerless to intervene. My friends, the great question we all face is, are we an enthusiastic lover of our country? Are we passionate enough to refuse those who would darken the glow of a country we love so much? Was Michelangelo cold and contemptuous of his work of art? We can be assured Michelangelo loved art itself and loved its finest exhibitions. A true friend of his country will love her friends and benefactors just as much as Michelangelo loved art. A true friend will with a gladdened voice speak grateful words and recollect the freshened happiness one has enjoyed within its borders. It has so often been the poetical prediction that America was designed by Providence to be the grandest exhibition of freedom, exhibition of human affairs, exhibition of character ever known to the world. This grand experiment of Providence will wane unless men and women of character arise becoming the principal agents of protecting such divine favor. My friends, the unbridled tongue today is challenging the aspirations of human rights and human liberty. We need today remarkable men and women whom we can respect and honor. Freedom is the ligament which holds civilized beings and nations together. As long as freedom stands, is duly honored, we strengthen its pillars. And so it should be in our hearts. When we incorporate these into our lives, we will be connected by character to freedom's durable frame. If we strongly support sound principles, work to restrain illegal power, rebuke disorganizing and licentious powers, we shall forever be associated with an uprightness and purity the angels and providence smiles upon. My friends, we are the most talkative generation to ever exist. I simply propose we not just talk vigorously and boldly about a country we love, but live it every day as an everlasting love. May the grace of God be with you today. May He touch you greatly. May you hear His voice. And may the power of God impress you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.